Hi everyone, this is Karen from Crafts by KMW, and I thought I would do a video today to show you my colored pages from the last 6 months or so and my major works in progress. When I'm coloring, I color in anywhere from 10 to 12 books at one time. I finish those books before I bring new ones in. So currently I am coloring in Anastasia Elly Koldererva books. I have all of her portrait books. I'm coloring in Kerby Rosanes' Mythic World and 4 of the Beauty of Horror books. So if you like this video, please give me a like and a subscribe. I'm a new channel just getting started, so every like and subscribe is really important to me. And as always, if you have any suggestions for content or anything you'd like to see, or you have questions for me, please put them in the comments and I will answer them and try to make videos that you would like to see. That was just my cat, Finn, sorry. You may see him periodically. He likes to jump up on my table when I'm working. So I want to make content that you would like to see. So please let me know if you have any ideas or suggestions for me. So without further ado, let's get into the pages. So the first book is Anastasia Elly Koldererva's Mysteria. So this is the first completed page. So this one is made with Blackbird pencils and Crayola Colors of the World. I use Crayola Colors of the World pencils on pretty much all of my skins. So I'm not going to keep sharing that. They're all basically Crayola. I love those pencils because you get 24 pencils. They have 3 different color sets: rose, almond, and golden, which allows you to do pretty much any skin tone color that you would like. They're so versatile, and they come in shades that blend really well together. So I really like those pencils. And then I use chalk pastels for the background. So this is page that I just recently finished. So this page, I had done her hair quite a while ago, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with the flowers. So I decided finally to go with oranges and a little bit of yellow, because those are colors I really don't use too much. So I'm trying to use different color palettes, and I really like how it came out. It looks very tropical and bright and summery and fun. And so she's colored mostly with Blackbird and Prismacolors, and the background is chalk pastel. So the next page is one of my favorites. I love the composition of the page, and I used Claire's from Color with Claire tutorial on the honeycomb background. I absolutely love this background. It turned out so well. I'm definitely going to use it again. It was so easy to do. So this is made with Blackbird pencils and a little bit of gel pen for the wings and metallic marker for the honeycomb. Really like how this page turned out. So this is one that I just finished a few weeks ago. I had colored her hair and skin early on, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with the flower. So when I finally got to finishing this page, I decided I would use some colors that I don't normally use on flowers. So I chose some blues, and I really like how it turned out. I love how it contrasts with her hair. So this is all colored pencil, Blackbird, and Spectrum Noir color blend. and then some gel pen on the wings, and the leaves are chalk pastel. This is one of my very favorite colored pages. So this one, I tried something different on the hair for the shine. I decided to do a rainbow look, so I took about 15 different colors and just colored little bits and pieces of the hair to get this rainbow look, and I really like how it turned out, and that helped me decide what to do with the gems because I really didn't know. So I did the gems in different colors and in rainbow colors to go along with the hair. And so this is mostly Brutfuner pencils, chalk pastel for the background, and glitter pens and metallic markers. And then this is the last completed page from this book. This one is colored pencil and chalk pastel. I used chalk pastel on the shell to get that iridescent, multicolored, but sort of sheer look, and I think it turned out really well. Chalk pastel on the background, and then I wanted to get a sandy look, so I used chalk pastels again. I used a light tan for the base, and then took some darker browns and just kind of dotted them on to make that grainy, gritty look of sand. Really like this composition, and I think it looks even better with color. So the next book is Nocturnes. So this is the belongs to page. So this one is Prismacolors and Brutfuner, and then chalk pastels for the background. I wanted to do something with the leaves, so I added some pinks and reds in there. And that was one of the first times that I've made multicolor leaves, so I like how that turned out. This is a work in progress. So this one is all chalk pastels except for the hair, which is Brutfuner pencils. I just have to decide what I want to do with the gems and the birds. With the birds, I'm thinking either darker colors, blacks, grays, blues, and purples, or either white with some light grays and light pastels for some highlights. So whenever I decide that, I'll continue working on this page again. So this is another page that I just completed recently, and I wanted her to really pop off the page, and I wanted to do sort of a sunset background, and I'd never done a sunset background with basically one color or shades of one color. So I decided to try that on this page, and I used 2 different shades of orange gelatos, and I really like how it turned out. Gelatos are so easy and fun to use. If you've never tried them, I highly recommend them. They work like watercolor pencils or a Neocolor too, so you can use them dry and just color them on your page and then smudge them with your finger or an applicator, or you can use them wet and they work like watercolor, and they're so much fun to use and you get really pretty effects. With the beads, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do bright colors or very earthy tones. So I decided to do the bright colors on the beads and more neutral earthy tones for the feathers. And I really like how that turned out. So this is another work in progress. So this one, I just have to finish the wolf, continuing to blend his fur out. And then I need to finish the background and the jewelry. I like how the hair turned out. I wanted to do a different color on her braids. And again, I don't use peaches and melons very often, so I tried that and I really like how that came out. So this is an almost finished page. I just have to do the bats. I'm deciding whether I want to do black or brown for the bats. The background is marker and colored pencil on her hair. The moon has a whole bunch of different things on: marker, chalk pastel, colored pencil. Every time I laid a layer down, I didn't like how it looked, so then I would put something else on top of it. So I'm sort of happy with it now. I have to fix the glow. It's a little bit too yellow in places. And I really like how she is looking. I wanted to do something different. Normally when I color portraits, I either match or do complementary colors for the hair and clothing. So I decided to do something different on this page where I used red with her pink hair. So they're sort of contrasting, and I really like the look of that. It gives it a more sort of gothic look, I think, and really helps her to pop off the page. So this is another completed one. I think I completed this one in June. And I didn't even know if I was going to color this page because I don't like spiders at all, especially realistic looking spiders. But once I colored the hair and the skin with colored pencil, I started to like how that was looking, so I just continued and finished the page. So the background and the leaves are all colored pencil. The sun is colored pencil and chalk pastel, and then there's a little bit of gel pen for the webs. So this one I finished a little while ago. This one is all colored pencil and then chalk pastel for the shell. I wanted the shells. I wanted them to look iridescent and multicolored and a little transparent. Really like this full page close-up of her face, and like how it turned out with the colors. This is another work in progress. I call this Snake Girl. So I just colored the snakes recently. So now she's all finished and I just need to do the background. I really don't know what I'm going to do with the background. If I'm going to make it nighttime or daytime, I just don't know. I may add some trees in the background. I just haven't decided. And then this page is almost done. So this is a goth girl, and I just need to finish the cat. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that in mostly grays or blacks. And for the background, I'm going to draw in some cement bricks, excuse me, to make it look like a basement or a dungeon to really add with the goth look. And this hair, I have to give credit to Claire of Color with Claire again. She has this 4-color palette for this pinkish reddish hair color. I know it has pomegranate and pink in it. I'm not sure what the other 2 colors are, but it is a really beautiful hair color palette, and I've used it quite a few times in my pages. So the next book is Serenity. So I have a few in here. So this is a work in progress. So this one, I just need to finish the wing and then do the background. I think I might do a bokeh background on this. I haven't decided. And again, I used oranges and yellows on the flowers because those are colors that I don't really use. And I think they really contrast with the black hair with blue highlights, which I did really early on. So this is another completed page. So this one was one of the first pages that I used chalk pastels on. I had bought a set of sticks. Now I have pencils as well. But I really, really like how this looks. It looks very blended, and again, this is just a stunning composition. It's all colored pencils on her, gel pen for the little pearls, and then chalk pastels on the shell and the background. So this one I call Feelin' Electric. So this one has about 6 different colors of blue on her hair. I wanted to give the feeling of her being lit up and electric and bright. Her skin is very pale, again, to give that light, bright feeling. There's chalk pastels and gel pen on here on the lightning bugs, and then I use metallic marker for the background. I had to do about 3 different layers on this to get it to look opaque, but I really like the overall effect of the page. And then this is the last page in this book. So I just need to finish the scorpion. He's going to be blacks and reds to go along with her. And then I think I might do a bokeh background, not sure. So this is all Brett Fooner pencils, a little bit of marker on her dress and nails, and then gel pen for the gems. Okay, the next one is Amarantine or Amarantine, not exactly sure how you say it. So I have quite a few in here. So this one, I was really going for a very pastel, light, springtime feel, and I colored in her hair and it just wasn't working. And then I kept trying to add different colors and it just got darker and darker. And so I just scrapped it and covered her hair in black marker. And then I added some lighter colored pencils on top. I'm not exactly happy with it, but I do like the rest of the page and the overall look of the page. It's just that I didn't want that dark hair in there, but I do like the light pastel feel of the page. The background is chalk pastels, and then everything else is colored pencil, either Brett Fooner or Prismacolor, both actually. So this is one that I'm working on, and this one has sort of a funny story. I had bought some master colored pencils for skin tones. So here is one of the pencils. So this is what they look like. And I didn't swatch them first. So I was so excited to start using them. I just went ahead and started using them on this page. And I was in dim light, it was at night. And then when I looked at it the next day in real light, I was appalled. The skin looked like she was about to get sick. It reminded me of that olive green that used to be used in the 70s on countertops and appliances, like the Brady Bunch. They have that green in their kitchen, and it was just so awful. So I erased the whole skin tone and started over, and I'm really happy with it now. It's much, much better, and I can actually finish the page. It's really good thing that this paper is pretty good quality. It is, I would say, medium weight cardstock. It's very, very smooth, doesn't have much tooth to it, but it really takes a lot of wear and tear and layers really well. So I was really happy with that. So this is the next one. So this was my first attempt at bokeh. I'm not totally happy with it. I think it does add to the page and make the page look nice, but it's not exactly how I wanted my bokeh effect to look. I was drawing the circles freehand. Now I have a stencil. So when I do it next time, I'm going to use a stencil. And for some reason, I really didn't color in the circles too much. Sorry about that. he may do that a few more times during this video. So next time I would definitely color in the circles a little bit more. I've sprayed it now, so I can't really do too much more with it. But I do like her hair. I tried a different color palette with melons and peaches and contrasting with the purple. So I really like the overall look of the page, but I want to do bokeh better next time. So this page, I wanted to be very pink and very pastel and very feminine. So I even used pink for the shine parts of her hair, and the hair and the skin is colored pencil, and the background and the flower is mostly chalk pastel. And I did learn something on this page. With certain colors of chalk pastel, when you spray it with fixative, it changes the color a little bit. It actually made it brighter. So this pink isn't exactly the shade that it was when I first laid it down. I do like it. I think it's really pretty, but it did get brighter once the fixative hit it. So that's something I'm going to be more aware of as I move forward. And now I do a test. So I'll color a little swatch of chalk pastel on a scrap piece of paper, cover it with fixative to see how much the color changes. I've noticed that it seems to work more with the lighter colors like pinks and reds, and it really doesn't do too much with the darker colors. So this is another work in progress. So this one I just need to finish the bird. Not sure if I'm gonna do him in grays or browns. I don't really know. And then I need to deepen up the background a little bit with marker or paint. This was one of the first times that I used or that I did a white or silver hair color. So I like how that turned out on him. I wanted this page to look really dark and moody, so I just want the bird to fit in with that. So I'll decide on that soon. So this one was a really simple page, but I kept putting it off. I had her all finished, but I didn't know if I could do the horse. I didn't want to mess it up, and I really didn't know how to color the horse. So I just decided to try chalk pastels, and I really like how it turned out. The way chalk pastels lay down, it just naturally looks like fur and gives the impression of fur. So I really like how it turned out. Luckily, I didn't want to ruin it. So I think it turned out pretty well. And I will definitely use chalk pastels on animals in the future. I think it works really well. You can blend and get some nice effects. So this one I just finished recently. I didn't know what I wanted to do with the background, so I had some stamps that I paid way too much money for, and so I decided to try one of them, and I really like how it turned out. It gives a little pizzazz to the background without being too overwhelming or taking away from the portrait, so I will try this in the future as well. So this is one I just completed recently. I wanted her to look very soft and pastel, so I used soft shades of green and pink and purple and blue. I will probably do some watercolor for the background, but I just haven't decided on that, so I'm gonna wait a little bit on that. So this is one I completed a little while ago. I wanted to try Claire's of Color with Claire, her mermaid hair. She does a green mermaid hair tutorial. So I tried that. I really like the green hair. These are all Brutfuner pencils. And the background is chalk pastel. I just don't like the foam of the waterfall. I just could not get it to look right. I added gel pen and Posca pen and you name it. It looks kind of like a bunch of cotton balls, or like there's a big lamb behind her. But so, you know, you can't win them all, but I do like the overall look of the page, even though I don't like that element. So this was one of the first pages I completed in an Anastasia book. I wanted to get my feet wet with portrait pages with a pretty easy composition. So this one I used a reference page for the sunflower to get the center right. So this is mostly done with colored pencil. The background is chalk pastel, and then there's a little bit of metallic pen on the center. So next is the last Anastasia book. This is Blackbird Song, and I just have a few done in this book. So this one I just did recently. This one is Pomegranate Girl. So she's done mostly with colored pencil, and I use chalk pastels on the leaves and the background. I wanted her to look really pink and pastel and feminine. So this is another one of my favorite pages. I was really worried about it because I hadn't done too many male portraits. You don't really see too many male portraits in coloring book pages. So I wanted to get the skin and then hair right, and I think he looks pretty good. I really was careful with the lips because I think men have lighter color lips than women. And I love the dragon. I wanted him to really stand out. He's done with colored pencil, a little bit of gel pen, and magnetic marker, metallic marker, excuse me, not magnetic, metallic marker on his little hair here, or fins. And the only thing I don't really like is this. I colored this as a tattoo, which I really regret doing. I wish I had done it as a continuation of the dragon's tail. I tried to erase it and make it look red, but it just doesn't work. So I'm just leaving it as a tattoo. And I used a cloud stencil with some chalk pastel for the background to make it look really fairy tale-like and ethereal and dream-like. So I like the overall look of the page. I don't like the tattoo. So this is another page that I'm sort of happy with. I like the flower. I used a reference photo. Reference photos are really helpful with flowers especially. And I like the green background, but her skin really is not the best. I had a hard time with the colors. She looked really dark and just very monotone. So I added some white colored pencil to give her some contrast, and I still don't think it looks really great. I like the overall look of the page, but I'm not happy with the skin. And then this page is a work in progress. So this one is mostly colored pencils. The background is chalk pastel. I use chalk pastel on the flowers as well. And I learned something on this page. So I colored all the shells with Prismacolor pencils, and then I wanted to go over them with chalk pastels to give that iridescent, you know, pastel colored look. And I found out that you really can't cover wax pencils with chalk pastels. It just doesn't work. So I have to finish the shells with colored pencil. So I'm going to do that at some point and finish the page. But I really like how the background is complementing her overall look. So I'm excited to finish that page. All right, so now we're going to get into Kerby Rosanes with Mythic World. So this is the title page. So this one, I'm almost finished. I just have to finish these little filigree elements. I'm not sure if I want to do them gold or silver. And then I'm going to do the cloud background that I did on Dragon Guy in the previous book with the cloud stencil and chalk pastels or ink to give it a real dream-like appearance. So this is one of the first pages that I did on the book, did in the book. I am half Irish, so this myth really resonated with me. This Irish guy, I'm not even sure which one is Irish, and Scottish guy are fighting, and this is the causeway between Ireland and Scotland. So I used colored pencils, chalk pastels on this, and some metallic marker. I really like how it has a very dark, stormy look. That was what I was going for. There's a lot going on with these two battling each other and the changes in the landscape. So I wanted it to have that very dark and stormy look. So I really enjoyed coloring this one. So next we have the White Stag. So this one was really fun to color. It's mostly colored pencils and some chalk pastel, white gel pen, and glitter pen. I don't know if you can see the glittery effects at all, but he's all covered in glitter to make him shine. I really like how the water turned out. I wanted it to look like he was glowing on the water, and I think it turned out pretty well. This one was a hard page to color because of the very small parts of the horns. I had to go over that many times with white gel pen. It took a long time. So this one I just finished yesterday. So this one is the monkey. I'm not sure what he's called, but this one is done mostly with chalk pastel. There is colored pencil on the clouds, and then metallic marker and gel pen for some of the elements. But everything else is chalk pastel. I wanted to be able to blend and get those really soft transitions because there's a lot of landscape in this page, and the fur, I wanted his fur to look really multidimensional. So I really like how this page turned out, even though I'm not a total fan of the illustration. So this one is, I believe this one is called The Rock. So I wanted the background to look really beautiful and pastel. And then here's this really mean bird who I think the myth is that he swallows the sun on a daily basis. And that's why we have day and night. So this is pencils on him and the clouds, chalk pastel and everything else, and then metallic marker for the feathers, because in the description it said that his feathers were like knives. So this is another work in progress. So this one, I have to finish the ground and the mountains and the little village areas, and I just don't know what colors I want to do with him. I'm sort of thinking with dark magentas and purples, or maybe some greens and yellows. I just don't know yet. So once I decide, I will finish that page. And then this one I just finished recently. So this is the Wowel Dragon. I really like how this turned out. I used the cloud stencil on the background to make it look very fairy tale-like and dream-like and mythical. And The dragon took a really long time, tons of layers to get him looking really, really smooth. And then on this part of his wings, I wanted it to look sort of webby. So I used gel pen, and I think that was a really neat effect. So there's colored pencils, gel pen, and chalk pastel on this page. I really enjoyed coloring this page, and I was so happy to finish it because it took a really long time. His images are so detailed, it does take a long time to color them. So next is The Beauty of Horror. I will say up front that I am not a horror fan, but I absolutely love these books. I have books 1, 2, 3, and 5, and I'm probably going to buy his newest book when that comes out. So this one is a single page. I'm not sure which book this came out of. I have to watch a flip through video to figure out which book this came out of. So this was a pretty simple page, and I really enjoyed doing it. It came together pretty quickly. I used gelatos on the background and marker on the inside of the photo. And then she is mostly colored pencil, I think Brett Fooner, metallic, marker, and gel pen on her little cage contraption there. And then on the frame, I tried a technique that, again, Color with Claire showed. She uses 4 colors of pencil to get that tarnished gold or bronze look. And so the colors are sepia, sandbar brown, lime peel, and jasmine. And so you start on the outer edges with the darker colors and then work in to the middle with the jasmine. And it looks really good. It looks like tarnished brass or gold. And then I did the same technique with browns on these elements here to make them look like wood, like they were wood applique. So I really like the way this page turned out. And then this was a really fun page to do. So I used gelatos on the background and then inks with a stencil that I had. And then everything else is colored pencil, I believe Prismacolors and Spectrum Noir with some metallic gel pen for some accents. This is a really fun page to do. They're actually really cute, even though they're kind of creepy looking. So this is book 1. I'm just really, really enjoying coloring in this book. It is stretching me creatively and allowing me to use different color palettes and different techniques and allowing me to step out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I'm really enjoying them. So this is this book's belong to page, and this one I used color pencils and chalk pastels on the back, the inside of the mouth here, and the background. I did a combination of gray and green chalk pastels to give a really gross, icky look, which I think that was pretty successful. I think it does look pretty gross. And then this one is double page spread that I completed. Really, really love this page. It turned out much better than I anticipated. It took a ton of time, but it's really, really pretty. Before I colored the page, I was trying to decide, or was deciding, whether I wanted to go more darker muted tones or bright colors. And so I ultimately decided on bright colors, and I think it works really well. So there's colored pencils, pastels, gel pen, and a little bit of metallic pen on here. And I used the white chalk pastel to make waves. I wanted these to be a little bit more pronounced to break up the bright colors, so, and to make it look more like the scene is underwater. So really, really enjoyed coloring this page and really like how it turned out. So this is another work in progress. So I don't like spiders, but I knew that I wanted to color these spiders in bright, fun colors and that I wouldn't make them look realistic at all. So I wanted to color this page. I just didn't know what to do with the background. So in the entrance of my apartment complex, the walkway up to our door, it is flanked on both sides of an area that is filled with pebbles and stones. So one day I was walking in and all of a sudden it just hit me. Ooh, I could make the spiders on the stones. So I came in and got going and drew the pebbles and colored them in. I used the same sort of colors that the pebbles are outside, grays and browns. And then I added a few in of brighter colors for a pop of color. There's a couple pink ones and blue ones. And then for the background, I colored the spaces in between brown on most of it. And then in this corner, I did blues to show water. So in other words, these pebbles are spanning ground and water, and the spiders are kind of all over the place. So, and I've started coloring the spiders with black, so hopefully they will stand out a little bit against the colorful background. So next is Beauty of Horror 2. So this was the first page or pages that I colored in the books. I really like how this turned out, and it was so fun to make this page creepy and gory. I really enjoyed stepping outside my comfort zone, and I really like the final effect. I drew in the cement bricks in the background. That's all with a little bit of colored pencil and then pastels. The chains and the hooks are all metallic marker. I used several colors of metallic marker to make them look rusty and old. And then I used gel pen for the blood, gel pen for the hands. The hands don't look that great. I'm not an artist, especially this one, but I think it gives a good effect. And then the heads are mostly chalk pastel with a little bit of colored pencil and gel pen. And then I used spray ink to finish it off and add the blood splatters. This was a super fun page to do. So this one is the next one. So this is one of the first pages that I ever colored that I used marker base first. So I colored her skin, her cape, and her dress in marker. And then I used colored pencil on top. And I really, really liked that. It allowed me to focus on the shading and the highlights rather than trying to get rid of all the white of the paper. So I'm definitely going to be using that technique again. I used a ton of different colors of colored pencil. These are all Spectrum Noir and Prismacolor. And then the background is chalk pastel. I had colored it all in green and I really didn't like it. And then I added the purple corners. Not sure if I like it better, but I think it does break up the green effectively. And then this is the last page in this book. So this one I really, really like. This is one of my favorite pages. It was very out of my comfort zone. I'm not really into coloring guts and gore and things like that, but I think it turned out really well. I used gelatos for the background and then colored pencils, I believe Prismacolor and Brut Funer on the skull and the brains and everything. I didn't know whether to color this page with regular colors, like realistic colors, or to go really fantasy-like or alien. So I finally decided on more realistic, and I really like how it turned out, and it just totally pops off the page with the dark background. So I'm really pleased with this page. It was really fun to do. And then the next one is Beauty of Horror 3. So this one I haven't finished a page in yet. I just have works in progress. So this one is the first one. So I have gelato and watercolor in the background, and then colored pencil in on everything else. I really enjoyed using colored pencil to make this look like metal. Used 4 different colors or 3 different colors on the smaller areas, but that's a pretty effective strategy. And then the banner is made with gel pens mostly and some colored pencil. And then this one, so this is all gelatos in the background, and there's black and purple and then a white. And these are iridescent gelatos. I don't know if you can see the iridescence on the camera, but it gives it a very shimmery look, and I wanted the background to look really beautiful and serene, because what is going on in the ground is pretty horrific. So I wanted the background to look really pretty. I used a ton of gel pen to make a ton of stars, and so I'm looking forward to completing the page. And then the last book I have to share with you today is Beauty of Horror 5. So I have just 2 pages in this one. So this is the first one. This is the very famous, very Farrah Fawcett poster page from the 1970s. And I believe this is still the highest grossing poster of all time to this day. And this was the first page that I used the alcohol marker hack on. So I coated the page first in clear gesso, and then I colored everything with alcohol markers. And I don't have a ton of alcohol markers, but it just so happened that I had colors to color this page in. And then I colored with colored pencil on top and a little bit of gel pen. And again, I really, really loved how using the markers first just took away that effort that you have to put in to get rid of the white of the paper, and just allowed you to focus on shading and your coloring. So this was a really, really fun page to do. Really enjoyed it. And then this is the last page. So this one is Marilyn Monroe, and I wanted her to look really girly and pastel. So I used gelato on the background and a circle stencil that I had. I filled in the circles originally with inks, but then it didn't show up enough, so I colored over them with colored pencil. And then she is mostly Prismacolor pencils and gel pen and a little bit of pastel. And I just have to say that when I posted this page on the Beauty of Horror Facebook group, I got a comment from the author of the book, Alan Robert. I was so excited. He put a comment, "Great work." And I was so happy that the author of the book actually took the time to look at my page and comment on it. So that will always be a special memory for me attached to this page. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give a like and a subscribe, and I hope that you all stay safe, happy, inspired, and have a great week. Thank you.